it's going to be a battle. We're ready for it. We're looking forward to it. Our kids are ready. They're excited to go. We're going to compete. We're going to compete this year.
Numbers-wise, throughout the summer, what have the numbers been like in the weight room and kids showing up for summer workouts?
It's been about in the 30s, high 30s, low 40s. So it's been good. The turnouts have been more than we've had in the past. I think sometimes when you win, the past few years we've won, made the playoffs, that kids will start to come out, and so it was better for us this year than it has been in the past. I think not having COVID too and having stuff shut down helped a lot with that this year.
Had to help. As far as the Taft football team in a whole, offense, defense, on the returners coming back, who's ahead of the game if you had to mix that up?
Well, we bring back all of our skill kids. That's the thing. We lost 3 linemen who signed to play college, which is very hard to replace. I don't know if a lot of people know that we signed 3 linemen last year to go play college ball. So those aren't easily replaceable guys, but we bring back our skill kids who are very, very they're just fast. They're big and they're fast, and we're excited. We're going to use them this year, get the ball out, and let them make plays. And then our defense has always been stout. I think again we'll have a good year on defense next year. Probably show some multiple schemes throughout the year to fit our personnel, but I think we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're definitely going to compete.
Skilled position players, when they're good, can make linemen better quicker.
Yes, sir, because we can get the ball out quick. They don't have to block for so long, and hopefully we'll be able to utilize these kids and we stay healthy, and we'll battle and see how we end up at the end of the year.
All right. Well, Coach, I appreciate you're bringing your kids out to be part of this photo shoot, and appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll be back with more right after this.
You decide. Our industry-skilled jobs include industrial, marine industries, oil and gas, commercial construction, and renewable energy. We offer work close to home, so you can spend more time with those you love. Lead Staffing, putting people to work and changing lives daily.
We are the Clinton High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Rio Sports Live. Woo!
Back here on our live football preview magazine photo shoot day for the Coastal Bend here at Allen Samuels and Aransas Pass. And Ruben Flores now joins us with Allen Samuels. And, well, first of all, thanks for allowing us to be here and hosting this event. We got coaches that are bringing players. You've already seen many roll through here. It's kind of a neat deal.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. A bunch of players, coaches. It's real good to be, part of the local organization, just to keep in touch with the local people. I know our GM is real big on that. Y'all do a tremendous job for us. I work long hours. We all work long hours, so, we can watch it on our phones when we're driving home or whatever, so it's amazing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what's going on here at Allen Samuels. I know for the past year across the nation, auto dealers have been saying, if I can get some cars, well, we can get some deals done. So talk about what's going on at Allen Samuels, how the transition period has been, and what the outlook is coming up.
Transition's kind of been, it's been hard, but so a lot of dealerships are ordering vehicles with every option possible available. And what we do is our managers are pretty good at it. So like the guys that built the vehicles, they kind of see, okay, well, we can't have this, so would you take it without that? And that's how we've kind of survived. We don't want to get, if somebody doesn't want power running boards, we're good, and we could do them here. So we kind of adapted, of course. And the good thing about that is we just keep on making these vehicles. We're putting the orders in and stuff like that, and it looks bright. It looks bright.
Yeah, I see more cars on the lot every time I come here, which is a sign for a dealership. That's the good news. Talk about the things behind the scenes, not necessarily what the cars on the lot appear by. I've been in your bays. You've got a top-notch, if not the best, service bays back there. Talk about the service that's available with Allen Samuels.
Yeah, service is always good. We try to get them in and out, take care of the customer. the number one thing right here is come by, let's be friends. That's the motto that Alan Samuels had, and that's just something we do. It's our big motto that we take care of customer first before anything. And
If you had to promote one car today, what would that be? Let's talk about that.
So the new Grand Cherokee L came out last year, and the Wagoneer, also the Grand Wagoneer. The Wagoneer and the Grand Wagoneers, those are your full-size SUVs, comparable to Tahoes, Escalades, Denali's, Explorers even. Explorers are the Grand Cherokee L's. So Jeep has come a long way, and they said let's innovate and let's go ahead and rebrand it to where we need to get a full-size vehicle to compete with that market, and they are awesome.
And you have some of those in stock, ready to go, delivered today.
Yes, we do. We got 56 brand new vehicles and then 101 used pre-owned vehicles. So inventory is here.
And that's a key. It is. It's got to be a good feeling to be able to say that, because I know there were some months that wasn't the case.
It was real tough, but we know, like I said, we've adapted. We've kind of seen how to get vehicles in, and our managers are real good at that. So call and text 361-386-2626 is the number. If you want to contact me personally, 361-537-3701. I answer day, night, does not matter, day off.
That is a true salesman right there. I see some Carroll players are coming in. We've had Moody, we've had Corpus Christi, Taft is here. Thanks again for them to show up. Bishop was here, Cal Allen.
Yes, exactly. And everybody there, it's kind of cool to see them because they're all hanging out. They kind of all know each other. Mm-hmm. There's not really like, oh, here's Sinted or here's Cal, but it's pretty cool to see all them young kids like that. Generation, you know what I mean?
It's also what I find, it's neat to see when the players come in here. Yes, they've got the jersey on, they've got jeans on, but no helmet. So you get to see the smiling faces, which aren't so smiling when the game's going on, but it is a neat diversity. And also the location here at Aransas Pass tells people in the Coastal Bend it's an easy get. You can get here from anywhere. Taft got here, Corpus, it's an easy, tell people how to get here to your dealership.
Pretty easy. We're on the main highway. If you go to Portland, just keep coming. And then it's easy. We're in the valley. Rockport is right here down the street. Sinton, Mathis. We're a big dealership. Go to AlanSamuelsAP.com. You'll find us there. Real big, real big.
And when we talk about you watching games now, the question is, who's your favorite team?
Oh, my son plays for Banquete, so I'm from Robstown, but we live in Banquete now, so yeah, I got to go with Banquete.
Banquete with that district with George West, Hebronville, Monte Alto, Odom, Santa Rosa, and then Taft.
They just got Taft too, right?
Yes.
I think you were talking about the redistrict, and that's pretty interesting that you know everything about that. Like, it's how the Bishop went, they left that district and went somewhere else. And y'all are on the money.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, we appreciate you being by. Come by and visit some more. We're going to be here live throughout the day. We're seeing other teams. Panthers are here, so more teams are here. Aransas Pass on the money, and so we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have more. But Ruben, any closing thoughts?
Come by, let's be friends.
Sounds good. Ruben Flores with Alan Samuels, which is right here where we're at. Come by and say hi, if nothing else, and maybe get a visit with some of the players from some of these teams as coaches are bringing some of their key players here. We'll be back with more right after this.
Uniforms, etc. You're gonna find the opportunity to purchase the best high-quality scrubs. Soon after I learned about how the EDC was helping out the community, and so I did meet with Ms. Castillo. She made it very easy, very friendly, and she walked me every step of the way. I couldn't have done it without their help.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
We are the Roy Taylor High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
The Brownsville Independent School District continues to provide a safe environment for enriching education. From pre-K3 to early college high school, the award-winning district has advanced its legacy in curriculum, athletics, and fine arts. Teachers are driving the frontier of technology, bringing industry to the classroom. On and off the field, Brownsville ISD students engage in the experiences that make them college and career ready. Brownsville Independent School District, the best choice.
The most important moments in a child's life happen in their earliest years. Having a strong early childhood education enhances their future and success. That's why we are opening the Harlingen CISD Early Childhood Academy for pre-K students. At HCISD, we provide these opportunities for our youngest learners to foster their imagination and let their curiosity run while they develop their love for learning. These are the early steps to success, and Harlingen CISD is with them every step of the way.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
We are back here at Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aransas Pass for our live football preview photo shoot day. And, well, you can't take photos without the photographer and one of the busiest guys in the house sitting next to me right now, Andrew Cordero. Not just today, but yesterday and a few days last week and tomorrow and Sunday. So talk about, the benefit of having these teams rotate through here.
Oh, no, Joe, it's a good benefit. I mean, you get to see the teams that are coming through, who's the star players, who's going to be the players to look out for. Plus, you also get them in front of a camera. They get to shoot a few poses, so I think it's a pretty cool thing to have them on here.
Talk about the difference in including the cheerleaders this year. I know yesterday you got to visit with some of them. The cheer squad seemed to be embracing the fact that, hey, we're going to be included in the preview magazine this year.
Right, and cheer is very underserved. They don't get that much recognition. So when we reached out to them, said, "Hey, we want to include you this year." Cheer was very receptive. They're super excited that they finally get some recognition. They get to be featured somewhere. So I think it was pretty cool to see all the cheerleaders come out.
And then again, Lower Valley, the teams that showed up, 100% participation with the fact that 3 had said, hey, we're not going to be there for that, but we will be there for them. So talk about as year 2 for our preview magazine and the reception from the teams and being here and being part of this.
Right. So a lot of teams are excited to be part of the Real Sports Life magazine. They got to see what it looked like last year, and the fact that it's growing and being built even bigger. There's more excitement, more enthusiasm, from the players to be involved, coaches to be involved, and players. They can't wait to see how it's going to come out.
And again, part of this is the fact that these players are coming in. It's business, yes, but you're also making it some fun. You're having some fun with these kids, allowing them to have their own poses, and that's kind of a neat deal too.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, you get them behind the camera, and you get your stereotypical poses, but then when you let them have fun, they like to break out the Heisman pose and different things, laying on the ground, so it's pretty cool to see these athletes step out of the comfort zone.
All right, sounds good. Well, Aransas Pass awaits your services, and then I'll fulfill my commitment that I made to you. That's Andrew Cordero. He's the one taking the photos. As you can see, Aransas Pass, the Panthers are in the building, and Carol is on deck. We'll visit with another coach, and then Kevin and I will break down a couple of districts for you as we continue. From Allen Samuels, we're at the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership here in Aransas Pass, Texas. For information, you can contact them at their main number at 361-386-2626. It's on 877 South Highway 35 Bypass, right here in Aransas Pass. Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We'll be back with more on our football preview magazine photo shoot day for the Coastal Bend on Real Sports Live.
If you want to get in the game, come to Myra Sports and more. Basketball gloves and uniforms too, customized for tradition, from generation to generation, from Pee Wee to the MLBs. You can count on us, your hometown sporting goods store since '76. Marlin Sports and more, where kids get cool stuff.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
When excellence in academics meets discovery on the court, in the arts, with institutions of higher education and beyond, we are the future leaders, and our success starts now. La Villa ISD, Cardinal Pride.
LEAD has relationships with multiple industry leaders. Whether you're looking for project-based work or long-term employment, you decide. Our industry-skilled jobs include industrial, marine industries, oil and gas, commercial construction, and renewable energy. We offer work close to home, so you can spend more time with those you love. LEAD Staffing, putting people to work and changing lives daily.
We are the Clinton High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Rio Sports Live. Woo!
If you want to get in the game, come to Myra Sports and more. Basketball gloves and uniforms too, customized for you. Your family tradition, from generation to generation, from Pee Wee to the MLBs. You can count on us, your hometown sporting goods store since '76. Myra Sports and more, where kids get cool stuff.
Back here on our Football Preview Magazine photo shoot day for the Coastal Bend here at Aransas Passes, Alan Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Cal Netherland now joins us for the Carroll Tigers. New face for the Carroll Tigers this year.
Yes, first year, 3 months in. Glad to be here. Thanks.
All right, first of all, let's talk about your journey to get here. You know, we talked off camera, and before we get into what's going on for the Carroll Tigers, let's talk about your journey to get here.
Yes, I started in Midland, was there for 14, kind of worked my way up there to offensive coordinator, then moved to San Antonio. I was at Marshall for a year as an OC, and then moved to Southwest and was there for 4 years, worked defensive side of the ball, and then got the head coaching job at Somerville. I was the AD head football coach, and spent 3 years, and we made the playoffs for only the third time in 31 years last year, and then I applied for the Carroll job and was very fortunate and blessed to be chosen. So very proud to be here and can't wait to get started for the season.
Talk about the easy questions for coaches at this point in time. 3 months in, you've got to see your players come in and out for conditioning. So talk about the numbers game as far as you know what's been showing up for your conditioning throughout the summer.
We've had very big numbers. You know, I can't just tell you like boys in general, like overall like that, but we had like I think last year they said they had 500 at the start of the year. We had over 100 more. So we've been averaging, and then the next week we had 200 more. The boys and girls have been coming out big time, so we're very pleased. very pleased with numbers.
When you're coming in as a new head coach with that many players that are rotating through, if you're there 5-10 years, you're familiar with the guys that are in, that are out, that have made the commitments, that are doing this work, doing that. This is a slates clean kind of thing for a coach to come in. I know there are players that are returning. There are key players that played last year, but talk about the transition as a coach to be able to just grasp the overview of, I'm looking at everybody right now.
Yeah, I mean, when I first got here, I was having to look at everybody, coaches, players, the whole system, how Corpus, Carroll do things. I mean, it was a totally foreign, coming in here. So I had to learn a lot. As far as the kids, it doesn't take long to start seeing who your players are when you start doing things. And then we went through 7-on-7. I got to see a lot more. And then I could see, like, we had morning weights. The kids that were committed, you can tell. And then I also saw how, like, I needed to go recruit our own hallways, to get kids to come back out. And we're still doing that. We're very fortunate. We're having a new school opening up in August that we're moving into next week. And that's helping bring kids in. Like, next year we have 96 freshmen signed up for football right now. So that's a big number for us.
Depth. That cannot hurt when you have depth. Talk about your district. I know as a new coach, but you're still got to be familiar with the district. You've got yourself, veterans, King, Miller, Moody, Ray, all CCISD, and then the Victorias, East and West. To fans, they're going to say, well, that district is about the same as always. To a coach that's coming into a district, talk about your view of the district as a whole.
Well, just looking at the district, I've played against several of the teams before from, when I was at Southwest. I know Vets obviously is going to be the favorite, and Miller has been on the come up the last couple of years. Coach Evans has been doing a great job there. And then I know Coach Boyce and Coach Hernandez from East and West, and they do a great job. And the other teams too, they're all, Coach Foster at King, and it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a fun district this year, and I can't wait to get started.
The diversity's there. The offense is there. You look at some prolific teams able to put up some big numbers there. Does that put more pressure on you as a coach to stress your defense? We're going to have to get some stops, or on your offense to say, at times we're just going to have to get out there and outscore people?
Honestly, I've always been a big believer we don't worry about what the other team does. We can only worry about what we do and focus on what we do offensively, execution, and defense, just playing and tackling. So if we take care of ourselves, then we'll be fine. And defensively, you just got to line up correctly. I think that's the biggest thing on defense, because like you said, there are a lot of prolific offenses, but some of them run like the wing tee, some are spread, so you have to be able to adjust to all of it. So you just have to be sound defensively, and offensively, we just put we have a lot of good skilled kids, and we want to put the ball in their hands.
And skilled kids are going to be the ones that carry the load in the early part as you transition from new coach, new styles, new expectations, but same goals. We want to get to the playoffs later on.
Yeah, that's always the goal. I mean, I know they weren't, obviously 0-10 last year, but we have a lot of skilled kids. And when I came here, the first thing I noticed, they didn't act like an 0-10 team. The work ethic was just very good, and they were working hard and they were excited as a team, and we really think we have the pieces. We're going to be very competitive. We're going to surprise some people, I guarantee it.
Both approaches have worked in teams I've covered over the years. Chip on the shoulder from an 0-10 team coming in, or business-like, let's go to work. Define which more presents your team right out, or is it a combination?
I don't think these kids have a chip. I think it's the go to work. Like I said, when I got here, the excitement was already there. We have a strong senior class. I mean, there's not like a ton of them, but the 20 plus that we have, they're all bought in. And so when they're all bought in, everybody else kind of follows, and they have goals and they want to be good. So I think it's just we're going to work and trying to make it happen.
Sounds good. Kevin?
What can we expect as far as your offense? You mentioned you coach both sides of the ball. Are we looking at a spread or up tempo?
Well, I hate to be labeled, but if you're going to label me, it'd be like a power spread. We're going to run lots of power counter. A lot of our passing game stuff is like the air raid type stuff with play action. Defensively, we're going to be a 4-3 and maybe run a little three-man front, like a 3-3 stack. But we're going to fit what we do to the personnel we have. And like I said, we're going to get our best kids out there and see what we can do.
You mentioned you spent some time in Somerville, Midland, San Antonio, now Corpus. So you've been really all around the state. What drew you to Coastal Bend?
Well, obviously when I was in San Antonio, I got to compete against Carroll when they won their last district championship. I've got to be against a bunch of these teams and compete against them, and just a chance to lead a big program and the opportunity to be at a new school, open up a brand new school. I got to see the weight room, completed for the first time yesterday. Just amazing. And so one of the things I've really liked, the kids here at Corpus remind me of the kids of Southwest, that they just work their tails off and they'll do anything for you. And that's been one of the most exciting things about being here, honestly.
We talk about just the state in general. You've seen West Texas, you've seen Central Texas, and then now you're in South Texas. So just talk about the state and what football means, and you've just seen different types of kids, different programs.
Well, right now, it's hard for me to tell you anything as far as the football down here, other than, I have been a part of it, but it's been like 6 years since we played. When we played, it was 2015 when we played them here. So I don't have a good, as far as overall, how it is going to be from the day-to-day aspects here, because we haven't had the season yet. But I can tell you that it's the same pretty much everywhere. The kids that are bought in and believe it's important, make it exciting.
We all love football. That's the common.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Thanks for bringing your players by. We look forward to seeing you on the season.
Hey, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Anytime we can.
We'll be back with yes, sir. We'll be back with more from Alan Samuels after this.
Come on down to Staple Street Meat Market with the best selection of quality meats, beef ribs, Angus beef fajitas, and Staple Street brand sausage, featuring our new authentic family recipe for pony spices. Check out our weekly specials. Your one-stop shop for everything you need for your next barbecue: ice, charcoal, wood, and adult beverages. We are your local football headquarters. Look for our new location coming early 2022 at 7418 South Staple Street. We're a proud advertising partner with Real Sports Live and the Coastal Bend and RGV, and supporting all our local sports and athletes. Staple Street Meat Market.
We are the Roy Taylor High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
We are back here at Alan Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aransas Pass. Tony Pocinelli, Tony P, is joining us from Alan Samuels. And tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, I've been here 4.5 years. I lived in the area 20 years, and I've been selling cars now, but I started out making them with General Motors. So that's a little bit about myself.
What year were you making cars for General Motors, just for reference?
Back in '67.
I was making them in '85, so we share a little common ground there. We'll talk about, first of all, Alan Samuels entrenching in community-related events. Being part of this football shoot is just one of the ways that you guys reach out and try to be part of the community, not just that car dealer down the road.
Correct. We've tried to do, not only be part of the community itself, but we're involved in people's lives. One of the things I like about working here is that we really try and help people progress through their vehicle buying experience. So I think that's really great that we do that.
We talked about with one of the other guys early on that the key transition right now for dealerships is that the cars are coming back on the lot. So a lot more excitement as you guys move into the next couple of months.
Yes, and we've been really fortunate that we've been getting some of the high, the brand new vehicles that are in high demand. So that's been really helpful for us. And not only that, but our managing team has really put together a great used car inventory so that we've been supplying the people that need newer cars. They're not brand new, but they're really close.
And that's been the real true competition in dealerships is that getting the quality used cars on the lot because the bottom line is you can advertise all you want if the inventory's not there. And so talk about just how far the reach has been as trying to reach out and say we need quality cars on our lot. Used cars are a big part of it right now.
Well, a number of people have been hit in this downturn in the economy. And what we're doing is we're going out and buying cars that from the community itself. We bought a number of cars directly from people that have too many cars or are in a little bit of a tight situation that they can't afford the new car that they bought just a year ago or so. So we're buying those. They've also reached out to dealers that are renting cars and saying bringing some of those in that are in good shape. So our managers have done a great job in supplying us with vehicles to sell.
Customers that come in and say, I'm looking for a specific car, if it's not on the lot, talk about the extent that you guys go to find them.
Well, we try and find them, but in this market right now, most other dealers are not interested in trading. Occasionally we'll find one within our dealerships ourselves, but that's been a tough issue right now.
Talk about the service department because again, I toured this place. The service base back there are top notch, and I can't say enough about it. Just talk about the service and the support when Allen Samuels once someone does purchase a car.
Well, we bring them over to the service department and we follow up with the people that buy cars and encourage them to stay up with their service maintenance schedules to make sure their cars stay in good working condition. Service guys are great when they see somebody's in trouble with a car that really is beyond repair. Economically, they bring them over to us and we try and help them out and get them into a car that they can afford and that they can use.
All right, I'm going to put you in the hot seat. The car of the day, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about a Ram, a brand new Ram that we have on sale out here with $7,000 off. That's unheard of. Instead of adding to the bottom line like many other dealers are doing, we're taking dollars off or we're selling it at MSRP on new cars. So it's the hot one. We've got another hot SRT wide body that's sitting out in front of the dealer there. Only has a few thousand miles on it, and it's a great bargain. It's priced lower than anything in with a 100-mile radius. Our guys do a real good job of searching out what our competition is, and we're at or below their values.
And these cars are on the lot, ready to go. Come on out today.
On the lot, ready to go.
And if they want to reach out to you, some personal information, how do they contact you personally if they say, hey, I just saw you on Real Sports Live, I want to come in and see a car?
Well, I'm Tony. I'm the only Tony here, so that's one way you can do it. My number is on my cards, and I advertise it 361-230-9867. That'll get you directly to me. And if you call in on the lines, just ask for Tony. Best way to get me.
Pete.
Right.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be back with more on our Football Preview Magazine photo shoot for the Coastal Bend here on Real Sports Live. We're here at Allen Samuels. We'll be on and off with the broadcast as far as when coaches and players are coming on board. We've got some more players that are going to be arriving, other coaches We're here till 3 o'clock. So, but you guys are here till when?
Till 7 tonight. We're open from 9 to 7 on the weekdays and from 6 to, from 9 to 6 on Saturday. Sorry about that.
So here till 7 until 6 tomorrow. We'll be back with more right after this on Real Sports Live.
Industry leaders. Whether you're looking for project-based work or long-term employment, you decide. Our industry-skilled jobs include industrial, marine industries, oil and gas, commercial construction, and renewable energy. We offer work close to home, so you can spend more time with those you love. Lead Staffing, putting people to work and changing lives daily.
We are the Clinton High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Rio Sports Live. Woo!
Uniforms, etc., you're gonna find the opportunity to purchase the best high quality scrubs. Soon after I learned about how the EDC was helping out the community, and so I did meet with Ms. Castillo. She made it very easy, very friendly, and she walked me every step of the way. I couldn't have done it without their help.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
We are the Roy Taylor High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Back here at Allen Samuels in Aransas Pass on our Football Preview Magazine photo shoot. Again, there was no design times for teams to show up. We're here till 3 o'clock, and they're going to come rolling in. I know Alice is coming. Some other our schools have committed that are coming for sure. And the invitation process alone this week is as tough as any, Kevin, because many of these coaches aren't in town, and they're trying to coordinate getting their players here. Because the big thing for all these coaches is, they're at the biggest meeting of the year.
Yeah, they're all up to coaching school. She should be heading that way. Today's Friday. Starts Sunday through Tuesday, so a lot of these coaches I know were headed up to San Antonio, but they were just going to send their kids over. That was kind of the compromise there. We would love to have the head coaches here, but I understood that they couldn't make it, so I said just send 6 of your guys, an assistant, or in some cases just have the kids drive themselves. So I've heard almost every reason and every, why they couldn't make it or whatnot, but
there's been several that have shown up. I know the RGV was near 100%. And again, it's much easier this year than last. When last year it was like, hey, we're going to put out a preview magazine. This year, 400 plus pages with teams across the RGV, across the Coastal Bend, and a preview that is a little more in depth than just team schedule and move to the next page. This is team schedule, key players, returning players, coaches' outlook on the offense, coaches' outlook on the defense, key games to watch. Plus the cheerleading squads, it's packed with information because Kevin, you and I have been through the gambit. We read everything we can to get ready for a preseason as media representatives, and so if you're going to put one out, you want to put one out that's a little bit more in depth, and that's what we're doing with this preview magazine.
Yeah, I think it's going to be better than last year, especially with adding the history of the coaches, how many years they've been there. What's their record? I know the first thing we look at is how many returning, how many lettermen do you have, what was last year's record, where did you finish in the playoffs, did you make the playoffs, last year's record. Those are just some key things that you look for as a writer, former writer at a newspaper. When you're trying to look at previews, you want to go off of something. Those are the first things you look at, and then from a fan's point of view, from a parent, you want to see your son's picture in there. You want to see your name in there. So those things that we're going to be providing, and I think adding the cheerleading mix too is a pretty big addition to it. I know the cheer and the band also make those football games fun. It adds to the environment. We saw that when there were no cheerleaders or there were no bands 2 years ago. So it's important that we're adding the cheerleaders, and I think that's a good wrinkle.
We've had a couple of coaches on board, Kevin, and let's talk in perspective from a coach's outlook here on July 15th. This is the time of the year where, traditionally, we as media, employees out there in the world are going to say it's the slow time of the year. For these coaches, it's slow as far as being on the field, being in the facilities, but I don't think any of them slow down in the month of July, because this is when most of them are looking like the fast forward button is here. I got to get this done. But talk about it just from a difference from a new coach in town to a coach that has been here for years, and just the approach. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it just depends. With Carroll, we forgot to ask Coach Sutherland whether they did spring ball or not. Because sometimes when a new coach, he says he's been there 3 months, so that's right around the window when you would start spring ball. So, I mean, I'd go on a limb and say they probably didn't. But if you do have a new coach and when he gets on campus, if he gets there in January, maybe they can implement the spring ball. If he gets there late in the game, towards the spring where you're looking at April, May, there's no shot of doing spring ball. The plus side is you do get to start the first week of August. But if you're a coach who's been there and you have longevity, some coaches like spring ball, some coaches don't like spring ball for whatever reason. Some like to get that extra work in the spring, albeit they have to start the second week of August. But you see the pros and cons. Mission Veterans is one team that loves spring ball. I know when Bill Littleton was at Memorial, he loved spring ball. I think the benefit of having spring ball is when you're looking at a new quarterback, you're looking at new skill guys, you get a chance to see those guys compete for those specific positions because they're important, right? But for the most part, teams that don't do spring ball, it's, there's the same result. It's not, you're not going to die with it, you're not going to die without it. So, but I personally like spring ball because it gives us something, well, not that it gives us something to do, but it gives us football in April and in May.
And then another thing, many coaches put a lot of credence into being there, observing, watching, taking notes during 7-on-7. Other coaches don't necessarily.
Right.
Classic case here.
Right.
Coach wanted to see players in action of some sort of competition. These are my players. I want to see what they do.
Right, and I think 7-on-7 provides that. That's why you and I it's an acquired taste. 7-on-7. You got to know what you're looking for because most people there's no contact, there's no tackling. I get that, but the pro with 7-on-7 is, like I said, you get to see the skill players, you get to see the skill positions, especially for a new coach. Like Coach Sutherland said, now he got to get a taste of what his skill guys can bring. If he has a new route tree that he's implementing with his type of offense that he said, it's an up-tempo offense, it's a spread, or an air raid offense, there could be that factor there to where he can implement that new route tree and, receivers can learn somewhat of the new system a little bit. Some coaches don't do 7-on-7. They're just not a fan of it. They'd rather be spending that time in the weight room. Manny Gomez. Coaches like that, they use their time differently over the off season. But I like 7-on-7. There's goods and bads to it.
Yeah. Again, from my perspective, when you're a new coach coming in, I want to see my kids in competition. I want to be able to look in their eyes after the game and see, win, lose. How did you compete? How did you react? All of that stuff that coaches new coming into a program are curious about. What do my players do when they reach adversity? Well, what happens when the calls aren't going right? All of that, the reaction time, put that aside. Now I know, and it happens through something like that. Well, Rio Sports Live is starting on our next year of broadcasting games. We started in 2017 with football season. In October of 2017, And it was just, let's get to the best game we can with one system. We ballooned that out into the next year with a couple of systems, stuck with that for a couple of years until we got to COVID, in which we exploded with as many as 20 systems on any given time out there covering games. This year, again, we look to have multiple systems out there covering games. Kevin, we talked about it, that the mini games that we covered when COVID hit, when others were saying, don't go, don't get out there, we're going to play games. Schools weren't broadcasting. Schools weren't streaming. Streaming was there, but it really wasn't utilized. And then ultimately, UIL was saying no video on Friday nights, all the way up until COVID. Now we have full video during the Friday night lights, if you will. We get the full broadcast system. And as we are getting ready for this year, last year, let me put it in perspective, fans, 11 weeks in the season, 10 games minimum on a Friday night, also games on Thursday, also games on Saturday, equaled well over 225 football games broadcast alone on Rio Sports Live. And Kevin, when we're looking at it right now and knowing there's probably 200 plus games on the horizon, and then plus with this new contract that we've signed for playoff football, potentially, covering every playoff game throughout the Coastal Bend, throughout Laredo, throughout the RGV. We're talking about a ton of football games, and fans certainly are going to be entertained on Real Sports Live with what they see. And the talent's out there, the games are out there. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's right around the corner. And like I said, we're going to put it on. People are going to watch. Just like you build it, they will come. You put it on, they're going to watch. It's a great thing that what we've been doing, what you've been doing the last 6 years now, 7 years old, going on.
Yep. This is year 6.
Yeah, year 6. So it was just a completely different element for people to able to watch it on their phone or on their TV. It still amazes me to this day. Just people just say like, man, like I was able to. We're coming up through the checkpoint, Border Patrol agents. Or you run into so much as running into people at the post office back home in Edinburgh, and they recognize the shirt and they're like, I watched it. Or 7-on-7, I watched that 7-on-7 game. So it's really neat, and there's a lot. I know July, it is relatively slow for the most part, but it's coming. There's going to be plenty of volleyball games too. We're going to have plenty of tournaments throughout the RGV. Up in the Coastal Bend. So we've got volleyball, we've got football coming up Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So just hang tight.
It's coming. Buckle up. Well, one thing we do want to promote as well is our baseball showcase. Softball was a tremendous success in Raymondville just a few weeks ago. Baseball will be played on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week in Raymondville. We've got some quality players that are coming in from the Coastal Bend to take on the RGV. In a back-to-back days of just, I looked at it, pitching. Kevin, I said there's a bunch of 2-1 games coming up, or if the offense does get going, could be some fireworks. But nonetheless, beginning on next week, on Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got our showcase for baseball that'll be on Real Sports Live, and it's funny because we wanted to go baseball first and then softball. Baseball kind of lagged, and then suddenly people saw softball. And Kevin, you and I talked about it, that softball kind of set the table of you want to put on a showcase, match this.
Yeah, no, it's just, it was a lot of fun, and this goes with the territory of it being, as popular as it is, especially here in the Coastal Bend, all the way down to the RGV. So Tuesday and Wednesday should be a lot of fun. 2 teams from Corpus, 2 teams from the Valley. And they saw what it was like, the players did, so they can kind of know what to expect. And I'm sure they're friends with some of the softball players, so I'm sure they want to bite of the apple as well.
And that's in Raymondville next week. Also next week, we want to provide the opportunity for you fans to tune in, as we'll be covering the Pony International Softball World Series. And we are talking true international. Czech Republic, Mexico. Will all be there. Dominican Republic, Texas, the United States, all being there. in McAllen. We'll be broadcasting live from the main field on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Exciting times, Kevin. 16 and under and 18 under on our field. We're going to see some unique talent come through their international talent on the Pony World Series right here on Real Sports Live next week.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see those different countries come in and play. I mean, I know it's a softball, but in baseball, you see that it's guys from the Dominican, guys from Cuba, from Puerto Rico, and to see softball players come from different countries, that's going to be a new experience for me, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see just how different they play, just their style. There's a difference.
There's a big difference.
There's a big difference, and I think that's what I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, there's a diverse difference when you compare sports to international play. The biggest, of course, is soccer because you have your European style, your other styles. But you will see next week in international competition that even to the level of softball, you're going to see different strategies. And I'm as excited as I am curious just to see what the talent is that comes to McAllen next week in the Pony International World Series.
Yeah, curious is a good way to describe it, other than excitement. Just curious to see the talent and how they play the game.
We're going to take a break. It's a design break for lunch here at Allen Samuels. When we come back, we will restart our broadcast, and we'll be coming live as we close out the afternoon session. But again, we want to invite everyone that's been watching to come out to Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. I say this all the time when our broadcasts are going on. When people are sponsoring what we're doing here on Real Sports Live, understand, we don't charge schools, we don't charge fans to watch what we do or to provide what we do. And so therefore, it's 100% reliant on the advertising revenue that comes in. So when someone steps up like in Aransas Pass, Allen Samuels, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, then it is a big deal because it allows us to do what we're doing here on Real Sports Live, and that is showcase athletes, period. Whether it's football, whether it's volleyball, whether it's softball, whether it's international softball, whether it's water polo, soccer, name the sport, we've broadcasted here on Real Sports Live. Beach volleyball, we've done it. But it's all as a result of the sponsors that come in. So when someone like an Allen Samuels steps up to do so, I say this often during our broadcast. At the very least, stop by and say, hey, thanks for providing the coverage so the Real Sports Live can be there. So what we'll do is we'll take a design lunch break. When we come back, we'll pick up our afternoon session, and we'll take it through the completion. We'll have more coaches. We'll have more players. And, we'll break down some football districts, and we'll get into some early predictions. I know the predictions are going to come out on our magazine, but nonetheless, we'll take a break. And when we come back, invite you to join us. Much more coming from Allen Samuels and Aransas Pass